Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening I bid to all of you. Hello everyone, I am Yamini Hanania and I will be the moderator for our forum tonight. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. We appreciate you taking off your busy schedule to join us in the Leaders English Forum. A day without English, possible or not? Hopefully, we can gain the precious knowledge about the use and importance of English in our daily life at the end of this forum later. Now, I will invite Professor Madya, Dr. T.S. Sheikh Ahmad Izzadin bin Sheikh Ahmad Ghazali, Advisor of Student Representative Council, UiTM Negeri Sembilan, Kuala Pilah Campus, to give an opening speech for the opening ceremony of our forum tonight.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to Miss Yamini Hanania as the host of the ceremony. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Allah that we can gather together visually for Leaders English Forum, a day without English, possible or not. Before I continue my speech, I would like to congratulate the students of UiTM Negeri Sembilan Campus Kuala Pilah who are working in teams to successfully managing today's program, which is Leaders English Forum, a day without English, possible or not. I do hope that this program will run smoothly and achieve the objective. Ladies and gentlemen, this program is in the form of a forum that will debates related to the use of English. The main purposes of this program is to give new exposure to students about the essential of mastering English and giving part of the outpouring of knowledge. But from that, the objective of this program is to develop students' interest in mastering English language skills and good communication skills. The program is also conducted visually, which can provide facilities for students to participate. In addition, this program provides space and opportunity for all students to participate in level programs. Finally, I would like to say a million thanks to Ms. Vichy Binti Mama and also Ms. Corey Watanabe for being willing to be together in the program this evening and share knowledge together tonight. I end my speech today with the words Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now I would like to officiate this program. Good day, everyone. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Prof. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start our forum, let us together extend our gratitude to Allah by reciting a dua that will be delivered by Muhammad Amirul bin Bahari. For non-Muslims, you can pray according to your respective beliefs.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل اللهم فينا ولا معنا ولا من يتبعنا شقيا ولا مطرودا ولا محروما. Ya Allah, dengan namamu yang menyembuhkan segala penyakit, dengan namamu yang mencukupkan segala permintaan, dengan namamu yang memaafkan segala dosa, dengan namamu yang tidak dapat dimudaratkan oleh sesuatu, baik di bumi maupun di langit, dan ia maha mendengar dan maha mengetahui. Ya Ghaffar, maka ampunilah segala dosa-dosa kedua ibu bapa kami, para guru kami, saudara mara kami, serta sekian makhluk besar wa alam ini. Ya Rabbana, sesungguhnya hanya kepadamu kami rafakkan rasa kesyukuran kami, hanya kepadamu kami menyembah, dan hanya kepadamu kami memohon pertolongan. Maka engkau berkati dan lancarkanlah majlis kami ini, iaitu forum English, iaitu Leaders English Forum, ya Allah. Tiadalah sesuatu urusan itu mudah melainkan engkau menjadikannya mudah, dan engkaulah yang menjadikan kesukaran itu mudah apabila engkau kehendaki. Terangilah hati kami ini dengan cahaya petunjukmu, sebagaimana engkau terangi bumi ini dengan mataharimu selama-lamanya. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Amin amin ya rabbal alamin. Thank you Muhammad Amirul for the dua. Now let me introduce to you our two amazing panels who are going to talk regarding on our discussion topic for today. We have our first panelist here, which is from Japan, Ms. Kaori Watanabe, the lecturer of IIUM Pago. And next, our second panelist, which is from Indonesia, Ms. Pece Binti Mama, the head of International Office, Universitas Bosowa, Makassar, Indonesia. Welcome, Ms. Kaori and Ms. Pece.
Thank you.
Hi.
All right, now let's welcome our first panelist, Ms. Kaori, to say a few words about her background. Okay, Ms. Kaori.
Okay. Hi. Good evening. Can everyone hear me? Is the sound okay?
Yes, okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So, thank you for introducing me. I am Kaori Watanabe from Faculty of Languages and Management, International Islamic University, Malaysia. First of all, I would like to thank you to Dr. and committee members from UITM for inviting me to this wonderful online event tonight. And let me introduce myself a little bit. I have been teaching Japanese language for 3.5 years in Malaysia. Back in 2018, I started to work in the local secondary school for 1 year. And after that, in 2019, I joined the International Islamic University Malaysia and working here as a Japanese language teacher for 2.5 years now. And today I would like to share some my ideas or experiences on, the necessity of the English for international communication, and how I felt while I'm teaching Japanese in overseas. I mean, in Malaysia. So although I'm not the expert in English, I hope that I can contribute to some, English education and leadership development by sharing my experiences of working in Malaysia. And at the same time, I also very excited to hear the sharing by Miss Pece from Indonesia. So yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kaori. All right. Next, we invite Ms. Pece Binti Mama to say a few words about her background. Okay, Ms. Pece.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good evening, everyone, and to all the audience. Before I introduce myself, I would like also to thank to the moderator for Miss Yamini Hanania for the opportunity, and also to all the committee from the Students Representative Council from University Teknologi Marat Cawangan Negeri 9 for this opportunity. Um, Actually, my name, as you can see in the if layer, my name is Bece Binti Mama. I'm from Indonesia. I'm currently working in as a lecturer in Universitas Bosowa, which located in Makassar, Indonesia. I have been teaching actually not English, but general knowledge except English for being like 12 years in Bosowa, Universitas Bosowa. I do hope that this sharing tonight could share something benefits both me and Miss Kauri, because I think that both of us actually not expert in this language, but we try to share whatever we could to contribute to this later English forum. I think that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Miss Pichi, for the share. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any time, let's get right into our first question for the panelists. All right, the question is, in your opinion, what are the ways to increase public awareness on the importance of good English proficiency? I think let's listen to Miss Kauri first.
Okay, thank you. For the topic, I think the what is important is the motivation. I think the motivation on learning English is very important. The motivation is one of the very essential part on enhance the language learning. So as an Japanese language teacher, I have dealt with many students, but I found that learners who have high motivation or high clear the clear goals on how to learn Japanese or why they want to learn Japanese, they will learn Japanese very quickly, and yeah, and they also learn the some cultural aspects as well. So I found that motivation is really important. So, but there is several types of motivation according to the research on second language acquisition, and there is the motivation for more um, like how to say like more practical motivation, like I want to study English because you can find better work, or you can uh, you can get higher scores on the exam or something. So those are more practical motivations. But there are another type of motivation, which is for interest for the language and culture. So yeah, as an language teacher, the teachers should know about those kind of motivation, and maybe we need to listen the students what they want, why they want to learn that language, and what kind of things they want to they have a motivation, yeah, like that. So, and from my experience in working in Malaysia, I feel that Malaysian university students' motivation on learning English is more like to study English to find a better job opportunities, or go to a better universities, like that. So more practical purposes. So uh, so yeah, like I mentioned earlier, as a teacher, we may be able to share information with the students about what kind of jobs they can get in the future, and more practically, like, how much salary they can earn if they are good at English. Or yeah, so this is, how to motivate the students with those, more practical, um, ways. And the other hand, teachers also can focus on more cultural interest or motivation. So, maybe you can imagine that, there's many younger language learners for Korean or Japanese who is a really, big fan of the, K-pop or Japanese animes or something. So this type of the motivation is that, cultural part. And they learn the languages from the, drama or anime or some music like that. So the those how to say those though I how to say, like, those, content on the internet or media also helps to motivate the students. So I believe the, teachers also can share some those how to say, like, those anime or movies to the students as well. And yeah, like that, I believe that, motivation is an, essential to enhance the language learning. So I think the teachers are required to not only teaching the language itself, but uh, we also need to share some information and some more, fun, contents that can motivate the learners. Yeah. So that's all for me.
All right, thank you, Miss Kauri, for the great opinion. All right, what about you, Miss Bichi?
Okay, thank you. Uh, the first question is about the ways to increase public awareness. I think I have a different perspective with what Ms. Corey have explained previously. I probably maybe look more like how to plan a public awareness in terms of authorize raising awareness for the public society, for example, like that. So I think it's important to know what actually is public awareness. I think by giving this definition, it could like guide me to discuss or to discuss about this issue um, more closely to the issue that I want to discuss. Okay, what is public awareness? Actually, it has a meaning of how to educate and how to inform people about certain issues and how to shift people attitudes towards the goal. So actually when we talk about public awareness, we actually want to tell people that this is an issue, and this issue that we talk about tonight is about uh, English, how English is important in public society. So the thing that we need to emphasize is about how to inform them and how to educate this issue to the public society. So how to do it? So there are several ways to do it. First, probably we have need to develop an awareness raising strategies, and this kind of thing. I think this strategy that I will mention now is a strategy that we can use for for all of issue that we want to raise awareness. Yes, so because tonight we talk about English as an important language in a public society. So I this strategy to raise public awareness is dedicated to this issue. So how to develop an awareness raising strategy? Actually, is important to setting a goal. We need to have a goal, because without a goal, we cannot achieve what actually we want uh, to achieve in this kind of public awareness. So setting a goal is very important. And then the second thing is about objective. We need to set the objective. It is for the short term or this is for the long term. And then we also need to recognize the target group that we want to raise this awareness. And then the most important thing also is about message. What message that we want to send to the public about this English proficiency is very important, because we don't have if we don't have this message, it's difficult to convey the message to the public awareness that why this is important, why English is important to them to learn, for example, like that. And then after that, we need to choose what kind of methods or let's say means or tools that we can use uh, to do this strategy or to do this awareness rising strategy. And then the last thing is about, after we do all of these steps, we need to monitoring or evaluate our steps. Is it success or not? If it's not, we need to evaluate what kind of uh, obstacles and how to fix and how to solve these kind of obstacles. And the another thing is that we need to work in partnership. So in terms of English proficiency and to raise awareness of the society, it's important also to work in partnership. If we are in university, we can work with other committee, for example, this students representative, and then English club, and so on and so forth. It's very important because nowadays we cannot work alone. We need someone to be our partner to work. So partnership is a keyword that very important to achieve our goal. So uh, so that's kind of thing need to be keep in our mind to make our program of awareness rising strategy to be success. And the next thing is about, we need to identify the target. So we need to have our target. If we don't have our target, so what for this awareness rising strategies? For example, our target is students. We need to know how to make the students aware about the importance of this English. And then the next thing is about how to create a key message, because in when we're talking about to raise awareness in public society, it's important to have like slogan that can make them close to us, that make society or public society or communities realize that we actually not make this program only for our own interests, but it is really for them, for the benefits and advantage. So that's why create key message is very important. And sometimes, a group of people who do this kind of program do some research to uh, to know or to know what's the reason, and then elaborate all of those reason in term to create a very good key message as a slogan to this strategy. And then the next thing is about how to consider the most effective methods to use. So there are many kinds of tools and methods that can be used to this kind of public awareness. For example, that we can use radio, local radio, and then we can use broadcasting through television, and then film, the internet, the easiest one, because all people can use internet right now as long as they have money to buy the data. I'm not sure what in Malaysia people call it data. We call Indonesia, we said data, like to run the internet, like the data. And then social media, so you can use social media as a tools or means. And then you can also use mobile phones, newspapers, leaflets, or even a poster campaign to spread the awareness of kind of certain issue that you want to make people or public aware uh, about what is going on and what they should participate and how we contribute through this kind of public awareness. And the last one is about the timing. So we need to make sure the right time to run this kind of strategy, because even though all times are perfect to run this kind of project strategy project, but however we need to ensure that is it really suitable, the time is get the momentums or not, because if not it could make us fail to raise the awareness from the public society. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Beche. Okay, now let us proceed with our second question, which is how can a good command of English help to be a successful leader? I think we can listen to Miss Kauri first. Miss Kauri, what's your opinions about this?
Okay, so I believe good English skills, especially getting information from overseas, will an advantage for to be a good leader, because the English is also become like international languages. So you can get any news article, or any information in English, and it's very fast. So yeah, the one benefit of English is those the fast information. So, and this is my personal experience, but as a Japanese language teacher, I try to access to the information on TESOL, which means English for a second language, teaching English as second language. So why I want to access that English learning information, even though I am teaching Japanese, is the you know the market of the English learners or English teachers are quite huge, you know, because the English is kind of international language already. So for teaching method or teaching approach for second language or foreign languages, the English teachers are always running the very I would say very latest research, I think. So I want to learn from the English, and I want to bring some new teaching method or approach to the Japanese language. So that's why I try to access to the information for English teaching. Yeah, and most of those TESOL academic papers are written in English, and seldomly can find the Japanese translation. And especially if you want to read the very latest academic papers or new books. So if we want to access the very latest information, English is very necessary skill for Japanese teachers as well. But however, they why sorry, and yeah, and sorry, and yeah, but actually there are some great researchers in on Japanese language field as well, but there are more professions for Japanese linguistics, or focusing on more Japanese language itself. But as a language teacher, we need to know about the Japanese language itself, and how to teach the language as well. So I think I can learn from the how to teach the language from the TESOL ways or TESOL research, and I can bring that method or approach to the Japanese language, and I can learn about the Japanese language itself, more linguistic part from the Japanese researchers. So like combining those international information and more local or more professional things about in my case about the Japanese language. We can combine this two and um, make my profession or make how to say it, make more deeper our profession, yeah, like that. So, but actually, there are some, controversial of, how I do actually. Some people say like English does not contribute to Japanese language education because the Japanese and English are, completely different languages. But I don't think so personally. And actually, I think the teaching method or approach can apply for any languages. So, but most importantly, as a language teacher, we need to learn about the languages, and also we also need to learn about the teaching method or approach. Yeah, like that. So yeah, like that. And when you see the more history of Japanese language education, in fact, there are many teaching methods which is originally from English, and it already become very popular in Japanese as well. So yeah, I believe that we can learn from the English, but we can develop the Japanese language education as well. So the uh, I want to return to the main, topic that how the good English command help to be a successful leader is, the English ability will help to get the information from the more international level, um, like newspaper or academic paper or something. Then you can bring that knowledge into your profession or your local. But yeah, I want to emphasize that not only to getting those international level information, you also need to learn about the your profession or more local. For example, if you want to do something in Malaysia, you also need to know about the Malaysia as well. Yeah, so combining those international information and the local matters or your profession is making the good leader, I think. Yeah, so that's all from me.
All right, thank you, Miss Kauri. So basically, what Miss Kauri said is like we have to look also into, for example, we want to work on Malaysia, so we have to look into what Malaysia's need, right? Something like that. And
Yeah. So you also need to learn about what's the issues or problems are happening in Malaysia, or what kind of Malaysian problems where you want to solve, and maybe you can get some hint to how to solve that problem from the overseas or more international academic paper or something. Yeah.
okay, all right, thank you, Miss Kauri. Next, how about you, Miss Bichi?
Thank you. Mm, I believe that all of us actually are leaders, um, but probably the quality is not same from one person to another person. So I think to upgrading our qualities or skills in leadership, the one thing uh, that we need to work on is actually how to uh, upgrade our language skills in term what I mean by English language skill is English here because this forum talking about English, and I'm actually don't have any experiences another experiences about other languages such as Miss Kauri. She has experience about Japanese. So I think it's very interesting when we talk about how languages could contribute to, to the understanding of other people. especially for the foreign people, about the culture and about the local issues through language. So as I said earlier, that because I'm not really having a, how to say, like experience in teaching English, but what I'm going to share about how English can help a leader to be successful, actually from my readings and from my not interview, but like a discussion with my several friends, and then I summarize them. So this is the kind of summary that I make from those kind of actions that I did before this English letter broadcasters. So how English can contribute to a leader, actually, there are many ways, because we cannot deny that today we are living in a globalized world. Because we are living in a globalized world, we cannot deny that our border become blur, and every information that comes to us uh, actually pass through the area of sovereignty. So everything come through to us and not with filter, even though actually in the area of country they have like border, but a kind of information that we read, for example through internet, cannot be filtered fully, even though countries have their own uh, rules or like requirement that for that information that can be shared through internet need to be filtered first, but somehow it doesn't work well for some countries. It also happened in Indonesia. I'm not really sure about Malaysian, but because I'm living in Indonesia right now, so the condition is like that. So people very easily to access a kind of information, and probably it's unfiltered. So because of that, because we are living in the globalized world and everything come to us somehow unfiltered. Um, it's very important for a leader nowadays. Yeah, for a leader nowadays, all of us actually, because all of us actually are leader. It's very important for us to im- to learn languages, because through languages we can know everything. What happened beyond our nation's border, because most of information that come to us actually from the internet are in English. Most of, even though there are many information come to us, for example from foreign languages like Chinese, Mandarins, Japanese, but we can say I read from one resources that is all from the internet. If we try to accumulate all of the information that written in English, it is around 360 million. I'm not really sure about the quantities, but it's so much things like that. So the thing that we need to realize, because of those backgrounds, is that English could enhances leadership skills. It's very important, because when a leader nowadays don't know English, they could cause misunderstanding, because language actually bring along with its history and culture. So when a leader don't know English and history behind it, and like a culture that embedded in the English languages, it could cause chaos or conflict in the organization or in the workplace, because languages, for example English has one word or one vocabulary has a many meanings. So when we don't know how to use this English and the context, because talking about English, we're not talking actually only about the content, the meaning of the language, but we also talking about the context, how to use the word in context. because when we know how to use the word in context, it could make the situation clear, and it can help us to understand, oh, this is what actually this person means by using this kind of words. Because a leader who know English proficiency, I mean the skills to understand language is in the upper level, is very important because of that. And the second thing about having different perspective, knowing English, good English, can help a leader to see the word better. Because when they understand English, for example, they could read many information that related to culture, if related to culture and other people backgrounds, like the local culture and things like that, and local wisdom from the other places. Even though, for example, those information actually can be translated into our own languages, for example, Indonesian and Malaysian. However, somehow the translation sometimes not really uh, could explain the real situation or the context of the languages. So it's very important for a leader to actually having their own good understanding in English. And the third about language challenges. This is the point where a leader should challenge his or herself in this kind of language challenges, because we are living in the world where everything come to us without permission, for just let's say like that, without permission, because this globalized world, internationalization comes to us and we cannot filter it. It's just everything. For a long time ago, the information cannot reach our uh, private area. What I say by private area is like in our bedroom. But nowadays, through our laptops, our mobile phones, information come through in our very private area. So that's why language must be something that the leader should be understand. And the thing about language is also help the leader to dealing with ambiguity. It's very important because English, as I said previously, that when we understand English, not only because of not only in terms of um, content, but also the context, it's really helpful to clarify things, because somehow some words have many meanings. When we don't know how to use that in context, it could cause ambiguity, and it could cause conflict, chaos, or probably war. Because if the leader from one country don't understand that sentence that being said by other leader, it could cause them feel offended, and then war could be happen. So I think that's why it's very important for a leader to have a good English. And the other thing is about understanding language and culture. So as I said earlier, when we talk about languages, it's also come along with the culture, because English language actually have a very long history and backgrounds. So one word could consist of a very long history. A very long history. For example, a word of uh, a word of war. War could be could be translated as in Indonesia perang, but in other contexts it could be uh, mean something different. It could be mean something like uh, something that to be taken to be take care for, sesuatu yang something that to be take for, yang sesuatu yang harus dijaga in Indonesia. So So it's very important how leader nowadays need to master in English, because the benefits and the advantage is so huge, and it could help tremendously, particularly in terms of how uh, to reduce war, to reduce friction, conflict, and things like that. And it's very useful also for students to have this kind of uh, ability in English, because yeah, it could help them. I mentioned again about the enhances the leadership skills, and then open their minded to a broader world, understanding many cultures around the world, and things like that. I think that's for me. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Miss Bichi, for the amazing opinion. Okay, so the next question for tonight is how to master in English effectively. How about your opinion, Miss Kauri?
Okay, so yeah, how to master in English effectively. Well, I would like to give you two advices on how to learn English. First one is you should be exposed to English every day. And the second one is to make friends with people from different countries. So I mean, making the international friends. So I want to explain this one by one. But the first thing, should be exposed yourself in English every day. So this is the reason is actually it's very simple, but even once you learn something and you didn't review or didn't learn again, you will forget soon, right? So as much as you can, you need to uh, see, or you need to listen or read English every day, and if possible you should try to speak English every day, yeah, like that. So what is important is you should try to use English every day, but it is not necessary to study with the textbook every day. Actually, the textbook will give you some, grammar or vocabularies, but sometimes they don't give enough, information how to use that phrase in the conversation or real situation. So you also can watch the English videos or movies, and you can learn the you can learn how to use that words or phrase in the real situation. So you know if you think that like I need to study like that, then you will feel that stressful, and maybe you don't want to study English. But just you can try to watch the some English channels, or what's that, English comedy or something for every day, just 15 minutes, yeah, like that. You can start from that, and watching those videos or some those entertainment contents also can be the study for you. So you can learn from that movies or videos a lot. So you can try to listen or read the English every day, and yeah, like that. And yeah, and next one is the next one is the important to make the international friends. So actually, this is my advice, based on my experience living in Malaysia. So when I came to Malaysia, I sometimes struggle with the British English. in Malaysia. In Malaysia, the official documents should be in British English, but I learned American English in Japan, and sometimes I didn't know how to, spell in British English, or I didn't know the proper phrases in the British English. So when I started to working in this university, I needed to write many, proposal in English, but I didn't know how to write in British English. So I had many struggles, and sometimes I write the proposal in American English. Some people didn't accept or reject. Just I use the different style of the English. So yeah, we have those struggles, but right, that is very unfortunate for me. But at the same time, we need to get used to that culture. In Malaysia, you need to write in British English. So I also learned a lot from that experience. So the now English is spoken, or written, or read in many countries, and it's used as English for international communication. So there are many accents, or many different how to say, like many different rules how to write English, yeah, like that. So to be able to communicate in English effectively, especially for English for international communication, important to be familiar with the variety of the English, because if you don't know that variety, you will feel that like I am discriminated or something, yeah, like that. So to avoid that, to think too much negative about those experience, you need to be familiar with that variety of English, and you need to understand that there's many varieties, and if you go to a different country, maybe there is different accent or different rules how to write English. Even if you say English, there is many varieties. So you need to understand that things. So you need to, make the more, international friends. So actually, before coming to Malaysia, I learned English from very, international teachers. For example, like American teachers or Canadian teachers. But unfortunately, I didn't have the British teachers, so I didn't have the chance to learn how to write the British English. But when I was talking to the American teacher or Canadian teacher who is teaching English in Japan, I didn't feel, the communication crisis, because they understand the Japanese culture, and they already get used to how the Japanese people are speak in English. So I actually didn't experience the communication crisis, but in Malaysia I experienced it a lot. For example, like when I meet the person who the Malaysian person who don't know about Japan at all, then I, feel, when you struggle, like, how to tell, and what's the word will be easier for them to understand, like that. So, those skills to control your words or grammar is the, intercultural communication skills. So not only to improve the English skills, you also need to improve your, intercultural communication skills. You need to control your languages. So that's why, you need to make more international friends, and you need to learn from that conversation between the, foreigners. And my recommendation is you can try to speak to someone who don't know about Malaysia at all, then you will feel the many how to say, like, struggles or communication crisis maybe, but it will help you to understand how what is the best English for international communication. So yeah, my recommendation is making the international friends, and luckily, I don't know, luckily, but because of the COVID-19, there's many communities for English learners, or and more English teachers started to teach through online. So now it's easier to find English teachers, both native and non-native, and you also can find English speaking community, the online community, more easier. So yeah, you can try to make international friends. So that's all for me.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kauri. So I think, how about you, Miss Pichi?
Okay, thank you. Um, I think I have several like ways. It's just from my experience because actually I never like learning English professionally, like how to say it, but professionally no. I'm learning English by myself, and then with my friends we have a communities in English and things like that. I think it's worked very well. Uh, okay, when we talk about how to master English effectively, I think it based on um, people's ways of learning. I mean, different people have a different ways of learning. So somehow there are some people who can learn best through watching, uh, and there are people also can learn best through listening or touching thing and thing like that. So it's always not limited to it, but what I'm going to say or to share is about the general ways that we can use to master English. Even though I myself actually not really master this English, but use some of the methods to help me to to be able to use English in a good term. Just say like that. Okay, first, the important thing is actually we need to eliminate our fear, because somehow when we talk about English or foreign languages, we always put first our fear. So even before we not learning this English or the foreign languages, we fear, we fear and we scare. So the first thing we need to do is we need to eliminate this or destroy this fear. It's actually one way to enter the 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 strategies. The second thing is about we need to understand that every language has their own foundations. So do as English. English has a foundations. Like when we want to speak in a good term, we need to know what is actually the basic of this English. For example, we need to learn about the grammar. We need to know about what is pronounced and so on so forth. Things about the grammar stops. So it's very important to know about the basic things in every languages that we want to learn, because it could help us to stand still in term of how to master it. Just imagine when we want to build a house, when we don't have a good foundation or strong foundation, what will be happen? It will fall, right? So it's actually same thing will happen when we learn language. without learning the foundation, learning the basics. So it's very important to learn the basics, because sometimes people know how to speak, but somehow they don't know what is the basics. So that's why they master spoken English, but not really in terms of like the other aspect of English. So to to know all of those kind of things, basic is very important. And the other thing is, we need to, after we learning about the basic, we need to put it into practice. We need to practice. It's very important. When we talk about skills, we talk about something that we need to practice, because without practice, we will lose it. So whatever skills, uh, learning new language, learning new skills like riding bicycles, playing badminton. And when we never practice, we only know it once, master it once, and we never practice it, we lose it. So practice is very important after we know the basic, after we know the language. And the next thing we need to do is about read a lot, because when we read, actually our unconscious mind working to help us to keep to read, to keep the information. So we have sometimes, when we learn about things, for example, in terms of like languages, actually our subconscious mind actually help us a lot in understanding things. So not our conscious mind, our conscious brain, but the unconscious one. So when we read a lot, it's like magically will help us to understand how to use the structures, how to speak well, how to put the sentence correctly in the in the good sentence. Somehow we how can we do it? It's because we learn it unconsciously through a lot of reading. So reading a lot is a must, in terms of a master language. And the next thing is about be curious. We need to be curious in terms of mastering language. We need to like questioning everything. We need to question why this to be here, why this to be this, why and how. So many questions we need to ask, in order that it can uplifting our curiosity, and then help us to become critical, uh, become how to say, like curious, why this sentence, why we need to use these words in this context, for example, why these words not to be used the other context, even though the words actually have the meaning that can be used for the both context, both sentence, but why only in the one context, not in the other sentence. That's why we need to be curious about learning language. And the other thing is about watch soap operas. I'm not really sure about this, but it's probably in have a relation with like dictation. When when you watch like soap operas, it's like a theater. I'm not really sure, but because I never watched this, but this is from one of the reference that I read. And it said that it could help someone who want to master English. It probably because of in soap operas, when you watch uh, the operas, it could provide you with like very different diction from one place to another place. So it probably in term like that. But I think I just recommended you, if you really want to like learn more deeply about English, it's probably one of the recommendation. Yeah, go watch soap operas. And the other thing is about, you need to familiarize yourself with English. It's very important, like what Miss Kauri said before. You need to expose yourself with English, because exposing yourself with English could also trigger your unconscious mind. It's very important to make our unconscious mind to help us to learn, because when we are familiar with English, uh, and our unconscious mind will help us. And also, don't forget, when you learn English, you need to make sure to add a new vocab every day. You have your own vocabulary every day. So you just, probably it doesn't work to all people, but for others probably, because as I said earlier, that every people have their own ways to learn something. Probably vocabulary, remembering one vocab every day could help them master language, but not for other people. So that's why you can choose whatever suit you well. And to help you to be able to pronounce word well, I think it's better to always have like a self talk, like your internal dialogue. Sometimes my friends call me like a crazy because somehow I like to like talk with myself. Actually, it's the way I practice my English, because it's very important to have your internal talk. You talk with yourself, like, because you don't have someone to talk to. You can help yourself by having your inner self, for example, just let say like that. So you need to talk to yourself when you don't have someone to talk to practice your English. So it's important actually to like to get the fluency, because fluency is something you get when you can speak without your brain uh, like have a lack somehow, because fluency is something that your brain try to search for the suitable words to help you to be able to speak. So that's why when you have this internal dialogue, or you self-talk, it could help you to get your fluency. And also, don't forget to repeat whatever you learn. So repeating is very important. It's like repeating is um, a master of e- how to expert something. So we must repeat, like the practice. The point, I forgot what point, but repeating is very important in terms of master over language. And the other thing that we should keep in mind is think in English. You should learn how to think in English, because somehow when English is our second language, we always translate that language with our own language. So that's why somehow it creates ambiguity, and foreign people could not understand us, because what we said actually is a translation from our languages, not from what the pattern of that languages. Like, so think in English is something that we need to learn. How to think in English? I think you can open YouTube and then just type the keyword like how to think in English. I think you can see a lot of videos help you uh, to understand actually how to think in English, how to familiarize yourself with your brain to think in English. Because that's why in the second section earlier about the leadership, why sometimes uh, misunderstanding happen in organization, because of this mis translation. Is actually the meaning that the leader want to convey to other, not uh, not reach that targeted person, and then or targeted group, and then it could cause or could create a misunderstanding, which could lead to conflict and things like that. And the next is about, don't forget to enjoy learning English, because when you're too stressed to learn English, you will depress. So just enjoy learning English. So just enjoy, because without enjoying things, you could become become depression, things like that. So it's very important to achieve enjoyment. Like you should enjoy, you should be happy or fun in learning something, because our brain could not retain information longer when we feel stressed. So that's why fun, enjoy in learning English or other languages is very important. And the next about setting goals. It's very important to setting goals. So when we learn English, we need to have our goals. For example, in 1 week, what kind of uh, aspect of English you want to master. For example, we want to master about sentences in English. We need to set our goals. So we need to obey the rules. Because without setting a goals, it's like uh, we don't have nowhere to go. So we need to have specific goals in learning English. And the last one is about, don't forget to take a break after your hard work studying and things like that. You need to take a break, because your unconscious mind, your brain will help you to retain those information longer in your mind. I think that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Miss Pichi, for the great information. All right, so I think I have questions to Miss Kauri. Okay, Miss Kauri, as you know, in Japan, usually they will use Japanese language in their daily life, right? So, for example, if someone want to uh, apply a job in Japan, is it they I mean like they have uh what I want to say is it they have to I mean like is it uh which language is important? Is it still they have to use the Japan language, or they also can use English?
Yeah, for applying for a job, actually the first language will be Japanese. So firstly, you need to write all resume or something in Japanese. But for example, some companies, more international companies like what's that? For example, like travel agent or what's that the or yeah like for example like travel agent, they will fly to overseas a lot, right? So some of those companies ask you to write a resume in English, or uh, and language teachers also sometimes, the Japanese teacher like me who will go, overseas to work, we need to submit the resume in English, because they want to check if the teacher can survive in the overseas by using some English. So it depends on the job. Yeah, sometimes you can apply in English, but most of the companies are in Japanese. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Miss Kauri. Okay, so actually it depends on the, for example, like if you want to work on the travel agencies, yeah, for example, so it's depend on the requirement, right? Requirement on
Yeah.
the travel agencies. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So and another question, I think the last question for this one is for Miss Beche. So uh is it the use of English in Indonesia is what? I mean, like, is it there's many people what many people talk English in Indonesia?
Okay, in Indonesia. Actually, it's not a common language in Indonesia, but some part of university or foreign organizations use English as a official language. Not, and I mean what I mean by official language. They must use that language at that time they work in the workplace. So, but but for the public use, English is not the common language or something that you can find be spoken by public in the area in public area. So somehow when you want to see Indonesian people use this English language, you can find in like English meeting or some international university who use English as an official uh, language in that university. So not all of the public university or public school use this. So it's not the general one. So it's quite hard to see or to hear this kind of language in be used in Indonesia.
Okay, thank you, Miss Vichy, for your, your point of view on that. All right. All right, next we will continue our forum tonight with question and answer sessions from the audience. Okay, and one more, dear participants, I would like to remind you, please fill in the attendance and the feedback form by clicking on the link given in the chat box below for you to get the e-certificates, okay? Okay, so we have to wait. All right, so there is a questions. I think this is for Miss Kauri. Uh, from Amir Mirza. In your opinion, what's the most crucial and the very first thing that a beginner should learn in learning English language?
So, the very first thing that the beginner should learn. Yeah, for beginners, I think it maybe I have some different perspectives compared to Malaysians, because in Japan the English is totally a foreign languages, so the many Japanese people have a strong anxiety, the fear of speaking in English. They always fear like having mistakes and have some misunderstandings. So if from the Japanese person's perspectives, I want to say like you don't need to fear. Just you can start from one word, and even in one word you can um, I would say you can tell the some information, and you can start from the telling one word. You can connect the more words, and then you can make the longer sentences. So from the Japanese person's perspectives, I want to say like you can just start from one word and not be afraid of mistakes, or not be afraid of misunderstandings. Just start from the one word. Yeah, but maybe from the Malaysians' perspectives, maybe Malaysians have different perspectives, because in Malaysia the English is so close to our life. The English is second language in Malaysia, so the first beginners, how to say, the level of the beginner also may be different compared to Malaysians and Japanese, but my I want to say like you don't need to be afraid the mistakes, and then just try to speak something. Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you, Miss Kauri. So, okay, is there any another questions? Okay, so these questions, I think Miss Piche have opinion on this. From Nur Akila, how to improve our English for spoken language? Because I'm decent in writing, but unfortunately, I'm not fluent in speaking English daily.
Okay, thank you for the question. I think many people having this kind of experience. They know well how to writing in English, and then how to they understand very well and having a good comprehension in reading text in English and then writing. But somehow, when it comes to speaking, it's hard. As I mentioned earlier in my presentation just now, that one way we can get our fluency, because when we're talking about spoken language and how to be able to speak well, actually is how to find a way to be able to speak fluent. And how to be fluent is how to familiarize ourselves and to expose ourselves with English. So it's very important. So the one way I use myself is my experience, my own personal experience. 3 months ago, I'm not able to speak like this. Actually, I'm very nervous, but somehow I can prove that I can, through that tips or methods that I use, I can speak quite well. Because I don't want to say that I nowadays I can speak good in English or fluent somehow, because I realize that there is still so many weaknesses in my spoken languages in English. However, the thing that I want to share to you in terms of spoken language is you need to listen a lot, because your unconscious mind will help you to to structure the language in your brain. Because whatever information that come out from your mouth, for example, need to come through your brain first. When you cannot um, when you don't have like your structure in your brain well in term of English, it could not help you to speak well or get the fluency. The second things is about when you read something, you need you need to force yourself to summarize and then read out loud that summarize. For example, you read an article about whatever topic. After two sentences, two paragraphs, you need to summarize those paragraphs, write it down, and then try uh, to s- to say it out loud by your own words. And recording, don't forget to record that. Because when you hear your voice to record, you will know that, oh, I speak like this is my voice, and this sentence should be fixed. And then after that, you repeat it the process again and again and again. And after like 3 or 4 months, I think that you can get your fluency by doing this kind of tips or methods, because I use it actually myself, and it quite work well for me. So when you read, don't forget to summarize it by your own words, and then speak it out loud and record it. That's very important in terms to get your fluency. Because why you are not be able to speak in English, because your brain cannot help you to structure the words or the sentence that you want to choose to speak. Because there's so many words or vocabularies in your brain, so when you want to speak, they're like in rush to get out from your brain. So that's why you need to uh, order them in other that they can how to say it, you can use the perfect vocabularies when you need them. They just come out when you need them, not when you don't need them. I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Bichi. Okay, so is there any questions? Okay, the next question. From Dayang Nurul Shada binti Muhammad Yusuf. Okay, the question is how to solve a problem if someone makes fun of us if we are not fluent in English. So, Miss Kauri, what is your point of view?
Okay, so um, I just feel that you can ignore the person like that, the those person who was laughing your languages or makes fun of the person who is not fluent on languages. They don't maybe they don't um, how to say they don't have the experience to learn the languages, and they don't know the struggles how hard to learn the languages. So it just you can ignore those people, and just you can continue your ways to improve your language skills. Yeah. So yeah, my advice is just you can ignore. Yeah.
So just ignore them and just believe ourselves, right?
Yeah, and as like the Miss Bridget, explained many times in the session, every person have different, strategies on learning the languages. So just you can keep on your, suitable way to learn the languages. And yeah, those who, laugh at your, language, just ignore them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kauri. Okay. The next question from Mizana Madon. Is there any language other than English that are from Mizana Madon? The question is there any language other than English that are important for us to learn nowadays? And why is it important? Miss Pichi, maybe you have some words
Okay, I
from
think
this?
yeah, I think this is a good question. Because nowadays actually, when we learn about mastering languages, uh, English actually a kind of normal thing that we need to master. It's like a common thing. What whoever you are, what faculties you are, English is something a must that to be a master because it is a international language that all people use around the world. However, other language that uh, important to learn nowadays because we are living in a globalized world, so we need to consider other language that important to us to communicate, to convey message, and to deliver to deliver our ideas and things like that. I think beside English, Mandarin, yeah, like Mandarin is one of language that important to us to learn. Why? Because they are. I'm not really sure how many population in China, but it almost like more than 200 million people, think something like that. So you can imagine that when you master Mandarin or Chinese, like Chinese languages, and then you work in other part of the world, beside English, you probably can meet many Chinese people in other part of the world. Even you Indonesia or you Malaysia, you stay in Japan, for example, or you stay in Romania, for example, you can probably meet a Chinese person there. So Chinese is Chinese or Mandarin language is a language that you important to master beside English. Other than that, Japanese also I think is quite important language to be mastered nowadays because as one of the industrial countries, Japanese also have a good position in terms of international system where countries show their power actually. Because why English is important is because about the power of the British Empire a long time ago. And then that's all. also happen with many languages nowadays, which the countries like China's, Japan's, and like German show their power. They also brings the importance of learning their languages. I think that's need to be considered. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Miss Piche.
Yes.
Okay, so is there any other questions from our audience? All right, so there's a question here. What are the exceptions of English grammar rules? So I think maybe Miss Corey have words on this.
Okay, sorry, I don't understand what's the sorry, the question want to ask the exceptions of English grammar rules. So what what he or she want to ask? So exceptions English grammar rules. So is it like how to communicate or something?
Yeah, it's quite
Mm,
ambiguous
okay.
question.
So okay. So actually, yeah, you know, when I come to Malaysia, I found that grammar rules are important, um, but more importantly, just you know start trying. Trying to tell your opinion is more important. So you know, even if you don't remember the perfect grammar, just you can tell. You can start placing some words that you can remember, and yeah, you try to communicate. Yeah, that's the important things for me. And yeah, especially for the English for international communication, the sometimes the perfect English grammar is too long for the foreigners, like the for example, like Japanese people. Sometimes the Japanese people cannot understand the for perfect grammatical English. But if you say it more simply, with only for three words or four words, like those very simple words, then even the Japanese people who is studying English as a foreign language, they also will understand. So the communication is, well, of course, the grammar also important, but it's grammar is not the everything. So yeah, what is important is you need to um, like you need to check the if the person is understanding your English, and if the person is maybe not understand your English, then you need to change the words, or you need to try to say more simple grammar or something. And yeah, you can control your languages, yeah, like that. So I hope it will be an answer for that question.
Okay, thank you, Miss Curry. I think what Miss Curry want to say is for communication purpose, it's okay
Mhm.
we just say anything. I mean like either it is broken is okay, right? Compared to when
Mhm.
we writing, that's exceptional because in writing usually we must use the right grammar, right? But
Mhm.
in communication, as long as the person understand what the information that we want to deliver to them, they understand. I
Mhm.
think it's okay, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kari. Okay, all right. I think this is the last questions from our audience. And okay, this question is for Miss Piche. Okay, what are your thoughts on learning dialects? Is it a need? From
Hmm.
Kawi Muhammad.
If this question specific, uh, question in terms of learning English, I think dialect is not something that should be considered the most in learning English, because English is non-discriminatory language. For example, in Singapore, they speak English with using their slangs, their own dialect, and we call it like Singlish. How to say it? Singlish. Yes, Singlish. So that's kind of English specific uh, spoken in Singapore. So I think it's no need to think too much about dialect or accent in learning English, because it is a non-discriminatory language. So it's okay if you speak English in your own dialects, as long as people understand what you are saying actually, because communication means that people are able to understand what you're saying, or you are able to convey your message to them and people understand the message. I think that's enough. However, when this language, English language, is used in academic area, I think you need to be serious, like using academic language, because academic language has their own rules, which cannot be used whatever as as we wish, for example, like that. So like Rwanda. I'm not really sure how to mention it, but like Rwanda people also, when they speak in English, they use their own dialect. It's okay. And then like people from Botswana as well, when they speak using English, they use their own dialect. I think as long as they can convey the message, it's okay. So no need to think too much about the dialects and the way you speak the English, because the foreign people actually didn't really, or don't really think that dialect is something is important in learning their own language. So it's okay. Having your dialect is okay, because difference is beautiful. So when you have your own dialect in learning English, and when you speak and you have your own dialect in it, it's okay, I think, because I have met with many people who speak in English with their own dialect. It's okay. Nobody mock them. Nobody avoid them. Nobody talk behind them, because we understand what they are saying. I think that's. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bichi. I think all the questions have been answered by our panelists clearly. Okay, so before we close our forum, for Ms. Kauri, is there any last word that you want to share with our audience? Like a words of encouragement for those who are still struggling to learn this English language?
So yeah, as foreigner who is working in Malaysia, I feel that I hope that more Malaysian students also try to study abroad or try to work abroad and get more insight for international level, because like Miss Peche also mentioned, but if you learn the languages, you will get plus one more perspectives, so you can see you are watching the same things, but you can think the how to say, like multiple side, like now I feel that I have the perspectives from the Japanese culture, but I also have the different perspectives to see something or judge something. And you know if the more, the globalization will, say, um, will goes more, faster, they, our, um, I would say, like our country, like Malaysia also, by Japan also will be more international, and sometimes you cannot judge something with the only one, perspectives from, for example, like, perspective from Japanese. It is sometimes rude for, someone or something. So they, you know what is important is maybe, you need to get, several perspectives, and you need to think something with the multiple, different side. That is very important in this, say, in our, generations, I think. So yeah, I hope that more Japanese people and more, Malaysians also, go overseas after Corona. But yeah, try to go overseas and study more English, or if you are interested in other languages, it's also fine. So I hope you will go to overseas and learn the, languages and culture more. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kari. And I think Miss Pishi also have the words, I mean, like the some motivations that you want to share with us tonight.
Okay, thank you. Um, from me, it's very important to never give up to learn whatever skills you are up to. So when you decide this is the thing that I want to master, yeah, whatever skills, languages, or riding bicycle, for example, is okay. Whatever skill you are trying to achieve, you need to keep in mind that never give up. Ignore people who mock you or mocking you. Ignore them. I think then they don't put them in whatever places in your life. I think they don't help you. Why you need to care about people who actually don't contribute to your life? So you need to care much to people who contribute to your life and think about them, not someone who mocking you, for example, and then try to block you, try to lower your motivation and things like that. So just keep going. I think your life is your life. It's not their life. So I think it's very important to keep in mind is this is your life, and whatever you do with your life is nothing to do with other people. And it's also very important to setting your goal. So whatever language, whatever skills, whatever you want to do in your life, setting a goal is very important, because when you have a goal, you have something, you have a point to achieve, you have your like uh light, you have your path. Because when you don't have goal, you don't have whenever you don't have goal, you don't have like the end of the day, you don't have anything to achieve. So it's very important to setting a goal in whatever you want to achieve in your life. I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Pishi, for the words, and also Miss Kari. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, finally we come to the end part of our session tonight. Thank you so much to our respected panelists, Miss Kauri and also Miss Bishi, for the great and informative sharing for our forum tonight. And I also want to thank to all audience for active participation to make this program successful, and hopefully our forum tonight will be beneficial for everybody. Okay. And we also would like to apologize if there are any shortcomings occurred throughout this forum. I think that's all for today. Okay, therefore we will end our forum tonight with Tasbih Kifara and Suratul As. Alright, dear participants, here again, I would like to remind before we leave, please scan the QR code on the screen for you to get the e-certificates, and don't forget to fill in the feedback form given, okay? And furthermore, please do not leave the Telegram group first until you get the e-certificates. So I think stay safe everyone and have a good day, okay? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.